right, ready? Okay. I'd like to call this meeting to order. A meeting of the Plan Commission on Monday, June 14th at 6:30 PM in the Germantown Village Hall Boardroom, and also can be accessed via WebEx. This meeting has been given public notice in accordance with Wisconsin statute sections 19.83 and 19.84 in such form that will apprise the general public and news media of subject matter that is intended for discussion and action. Roll call shows all plan commissioners present except for Mr. Kimmler and Mr. Leszewski, both who are excused. At this time, if there is anyone in the audience or joining us via WebEx that would like to participate in public input or public appearance on any item that is not up for public hearing, we do have one public hearing on tonight's agenda. It's the first new business item A, but if you're here for any other various reason that you'd like to bring to the attention of this body, you're welcome to come forward and state your name and your address for the record. Is there anyone wishing to come forward for a public input or public appearance? Is there anyone on WebEx that's wishing to come forward? All right, then we can go on to the next item, which is the approval of minutes from the May 10th, 2021 Plan Commission meeting.
Move approval as presented.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on the approval of the minutes? No discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None opposed? Motion carries. That then takes us to new business, starting with new business item A. D. Lynn Luckow, Redline Canine Training Center and Behavioral Consultation LLC, agent for Ozaki Development Group, property owner located at West 188 North 11786 Maple Road in suites number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Looking for an amendment to the conditional use permit number 05-2020 to add therapeutic and recreational canine aqua therapy services. And this is on tonight's agenda for public hearing and action. But before we get into the public hearing, we'll start with some background and information on this new business item from our associate planner, Emily Zant.
Thank you. Lynn Luckow, the agent for Redline Canine Training Center and Behavioral Consultation, is seeking an amendment to the existing conditional use permit, which is 0520 for the dog training and education facility located on Maple Road in the industrial park. The site is zoned M1 limited industrial and is completely surrounded by the same zoning. The proposal tonight is to expand the use into Suite 5 of the multi-tenant building. Currently, the Red Line occupies Suites 1 through 4, and they're looking to expand to the north to Suite 5. The additional space will allow for a 13 by 25 canine pool to be used for aquatherapy and dock diving practice. There will also be a small amount of retail space added with Suite 5. There's no major structural changes proposed at this time. Just a little bit more about the pool. The Saltwater canine pool has a steel support structure with a vinyl liner. The pool is cleaned by an automatic pool cleaner and filtration system, which runs hourly. The applicant will add a UV light in the near future when the supply chain allows that to be possible. The floor of Suite 5 is pitched to the east toward the drain and the dock in the event of a leak or a liner failure. We did receive comment from the wastewater superintendent indicating that the applicant needs to work with himself and a licensed plumbing contractor to confirm that the floor drains are connected to the sanitary sewer rather than the storm sewer. But beyond that, staff does recommend approval of the proposed conditional use permit amendment for the operation of the dog training and education facility in Suites 1 through 5, and adding a canine pool and retail area to the list of available services subject to 2 conditions.
Thank you. And we'll open this public hearing by hereby stating, a notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held before the Village Germantown Plan Commission at the Germantown Village Hall located on Mequon Road in Germantown and virtually through WebEx platform on the date of Monday, June 14th at 6:30 PM or later. The purpose of said hearing is to hear any and all parties, their attorneys or agents for or against the application filed by the following applicant for an amendment to a conditional use permit number 05-2020 to add therapeutic and recreational canine aqua therapy services and expanding the physical area of the operation on the property described below pursuant to section 17.33 subsection 3 subparagraph H of the Village Zoning Code. The applicant is D. Lynn Luckow, Redline Canine Training Center and Behavioral Consultation LLC, agent for Ozaki Development Corporation, the property owner, and the property is located at North 188, North 11786 Maple Road in Suites 1 through 5. Is there anyone that wishes to come forward or anyone on WebEx that would like to speak for or against the applicant for the amendment to the conditional use permit? Anyone wishing to come forward to speak for or against? One last time, is there anyone that wants to come forward to speak for or against the amendment to the conditional use permit as stated earlier? No one? Then this public hearing is now closed. Commissioners?
Make a motion to approve the conditional use amendment with the two conditions as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion to approve?
I do. I don't know who the superintendent is and like what office do I contact for that? We are having, the plumber is scheduled and they're anticipating an entire day on Tuesday, July 22nd. We just couldn't get one there any sooner. And so I would like to be able to know who to reach out to coordinate the findings with, or if they want to pop in that day or.
Sure. We can definitely get you that information. I can send it to you via email
Okay.
tomorrow morning, if that
And
works.
can you remind me what the two conditions are, please?
Would you like me to read them?
Sure, that would be fine.
Okay, the first condition is this permit authorizes limited uses and activities as set forth in the conditional use permit amendment application dated March 23rd, 2021, and in the supporting documents made part of the application on file with the village. All the operational characteristics and services as described, as well as any commitments made by the applicant as set forth in the application, supporting documents, and made during presentations to Village Plan Commission, Village Board, and village staff are deemed to be conditions of approval. And then the second condition is the applicant shall work with the wastewater superintendent and a licensed plumbing contractor to confirm that the building drains discharge to the sanitary sewer system and or make any necessary improvements for the proper draining of the canine pool prior to filling.
Okay. All right, perfect.
Any further discussion?
Just excuse me, I may have been confused there. Was that the owner of the business?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
No
Yes.
further discussion? Well, first, congratulations. I think this is the second or third time you've been before this commission.
I know. I'll
it's-
tell you, it's like, how many more? Yeah. So they think there's 8 spots in that building and now I've got 5. So who knows?
See you again in a year for 6, 7, and 8.
I know, right? All
Yep.
right.
That would be great. Congratulations on the success of your business.
Thank you.
Any
Yeah. Even during COVID, right?
Exactly.
So,
Well, everybody's
yeah.
got to put their dog somewhere.
exactly.
And you're offering a lot of services beyond just watching, a lot of recreational and therapeutic. So that seems
Yep.
to be a very successful way.
Thank
Any
you.
other discussion? No other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unopposed, motion carries. That then goes to the village board for action, and that would be at the next village board meeting?
Yep, next week.
Okay, so next Monday, it'll be before the village board for action and vote as well.
You know what time that is?
Starts at 7 o'clock.
And I can come for real?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Sounds good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next item under new business is item B, Weiberg Architecture, agent for Dave Iverson, Ivy's at Maine, property owner located at West 157 North 11618 Fond du Lac Avenue. A site plan review for outside building improvements. To give us some more information and background on this new business item B, I'll turn the meeting over to our Community Development Director, Jeff Retzel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ivy's at Maine is looking to replace their existing fabric awning canopy over the front of their building. Back in 2013, when they went through an extensive remodeling and renovation of the building and the site, they added a canopy. Yeah. They added a canopy to the front of the building. The south side is shown on the site plan above. This is the existing view of the site and the canopy. And they simply want to remove the existing fabric awning and the supports over 225 square feet of the patio, about half the patio, and replace it with a new permanent canopy with 562 square feet, comprised of steel and wood tube framing and structural supports, a wood ceiling, a fiberglass shingle, or standing metal seam roof. Apparently that hasn't been decided just yet. Couple of renderings, not renderings, elevation drawings from the plan set showing the canopy. And zoning is B3. The canopy and replacement components comply with the setback requirements that apply. The only comments we really have are from inspection services indicating that commercial plan review will be done in-house given the scale of the project, and that we're going to waive the occupancy bond requirement in this particular case given the nature of the improvement. The staff recommendation is to approve the site development plans for the proposed canopy replacement for Ivy's, subject to one condition.
Commissioners?
Make a motion to approve the site plan as presented for the expansion of the canopy roof
Second?
with the one condition.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
One quick question, there's no parking lot expansion?
No.
Okay. Just a comment in there that the parking lot expansion met the requirements. I just wanted to see that anywhere else.
But Jeff, is there the total occupancy of the building? Has that been adjusted for toilets, that kind of stuff?
Well, as you can
Considered
see,
interior?
the existing patio on the lower right, the amount of tables won't change necessarily.
I don't remember if we accounted for that when we allowed this.
Originally, when it used to be, there was another portion of the building that was used for auto repair,
Yeah.
and that was removed and remodeled, and the site was expanded and parking added and bathrooms remodeled and that sort of thing. So,
Okay.
no, there was no need at this point to deal with any sort of
Okay.
bathroom expansion or occupancy.
With it becoming more of a permanent structure, is that then still considered an extension or an outside extension as far as liquor license is concerned?
Yes, if they serve alcohol out on the patio, but like they currently serve on the full patio, it's just only half of it is covered by the canopy. Now they want to cover the whole thing. I don't know if that outside premise extension area description needs to be revised as part of the liquor license. My guess is probably not, that they probably have already obtained permission for the full patio.
Because it's not being enlarged, it's just being covered differently.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Further discussion? No further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? None opposed? Motion carries. Next item under new business is item C, Canfield Buildings, agent for Stephen and Michelle Moss, property owners located at West 148 North 12353, Pleasant View Drive, zoning permit for an accessory building. More information on this new business item. I'll turn it back over to Jeff Retzel.
Steve and Michelle Moss, property owners, want to construct a new detached accessory building for their property, 7.8 acres in size. It's located at West 148 North 12353 Pleasant View Drive in an RS1 single-family zoning district. They wish to construct accessory building that they believe is similar in architecture and exterior materials to the principal dwelling. Staff, including the building inspection and zoning administrator, don't agree that the metal panel walls and roofing material, metal roof material, are similar to the dwelling. And therefore, we've put the building permit on hold pending the Plan Commission review of the proposal as part of a zoning permit review. As indicated in the staff report, section 17.49, the accessory structure section for residential accessory buildings in the zoning code provides for, I'll just read the section. In single family and two family zoning districts, including the RS1 district, accessory buildings which exceed 160 square feet in area shall be of a similar architectural appearance and exterior material as the dwelling on the property. For accessory buildings greater than 160 square feet in area, the Plan Commission may, in circumstances which it deems appropriate, grant a variance to this requirement and approve different architecture and/or exterior materials with a zoning permit. And that's why we're here this evening. As I point out in the staff report, back in 2018, we made a number of changes to the accessory building and structure provisions in the code. We provided for larger accessory buildings, more accessory buildings, and in effect watered down the requirement for the same materials and architecture as the principal dwelling. So I think this is the first time this has come before the Plan Commission since those changes in the code were made. As I mentioned, or as I read, the code now requires that the architecture and the exterior materials be similar to the principal dwelling. And more importantly, provide for an opportunity for the Plan Commission to review and grant a variance if they feel it's necessary under the circumstances. So that's why we're here this evening. On screen is a rendering of the building that's proposed for the Moss property. Let me click through a couple more slides here. We were provided some slides late this afternoon that we incorporated into the presentation that I'll get to in just a minute. Couple of graphics from the packet that you have that show the colors and the material that's proposed, the metal panel. A couple of, I don't know, Mr. Moss, or do you want to go through and describe what slides? I just put together the slides that you provided, the 4 sample drawings and also the yard, aerial photos of the yard that you provided. Do you want to go through those and discuss what those are for the benefit of the Plan Commission? Someone's going to have to put forward here.
This slide is just basically buildings that Bill has done previous for other customers of his.
And these are all metal roof and
Yes,
exterior wall panels?
correct.
Okay.
Again, just some other buildings that he has done. This, we basically just wanted to give the board some pictures of where our property is and also indicate that there is other buildings around our property that have the same exterior material that we're looking to use. So if you look just past the tree line, there's a green roof building, and that's directly behind our property, and they use the same kind of material that we're looking to use. Now, where our house is located, to the left of the house is where the building will actually be located for us. If you look here on the tree line, there's also a red building. That's our neighbor to the back of us that is on the shared driveway with us. They also have the same material that we're looking to use.
And the property right directly across the street, south of you? Right. I'm specifically asking about the, yeah, just south of there's an existing dwelling on the south side of the shared driveway that has a detached building. Right.
Do we have those letters?
Yes, I do.
Please. While she's getting that, uh, are pole barns standard out there? I didn't get to drive by this area this weekend.
I think that's the gist of the Moss's presentation, that they're saying around them, there are existing metal pole buildings, the west and to the north.
I, I need if you're going to speak, and I apologize, could you come up to the front because there actually are people watching and they'd like to hear you as well. I appreciate that. Thank you.
My name is Cheryl Loffer. My husband Frank and myself own the property directly to the west of Steve and Michelle. It is the property that has the red building that Michelle highlighted on one of the earlier slides. You know, to their point, our property went up, and certainly that shed, Bill built that shed as well, went up. It was prior to when the village made the changes to the statute. But we're in full support of Michelle and Steve in that project. And again, it is because if you look around the surrounding properties, if you look to the north, the couple that own the property to the north, they've got a building. There's also a property directly to the northwest of us, slightly a little bit more to the north, a little bit back farther to the west. There's also a similar pole building that does have the same type of metal materials as well.
Question, Director Retzlaff, the ordinance as written requires certain things, and you talked about granting a variance. We're not allowed to grant a variance, are we?
In this case, yes, because the code was written to specifically provide for the plan commission to review and, as I read, the words used are to grant a variance and to allow different materials.
In light of the fact that surrounding houses have similar structures, I'll make a motion to approve the independent structure as presented. Accessory building as presented.
Second that.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Show me again where it's going to be, where they're going to place the building on the property.
There you
go. Right here, this one.
Oh,
And if
there'll be a drive that goes back there, or there's one already? Yeah. That'll come off the shared driveway? Everybody's okay with that too?
And is the white blob on the very left edge? No, off the property. The white blob right at the edge of the picture, very edge of the picture,
Going
straight up
back.
there. Is that the red pole barn? Okay, and then on the top of the screen, I can't see the one to the top. There it is, there. This here,
My name's Frank Lawfer and I live, and then if you could go to the other slide, you can see the other pole barns that are around this area.
yeah, that's why I wanted this up so I could see which ones are where.
There's a better slide than this.
Just below the NW mark.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah. In light of all the other ones that are in the area, I would accept.
And a tree line.
Is there a letter from the neighbor to the south?
I don't know which one's the south neighbor.
Yes. All right, further discussion? No further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? None opposed? Motion carries. Appreciate you coming. Thank you. Next item under new business is new business item D. MacArthur Partners LLC, a subsidiary owned by Ergens Partners LLC, property owner and agents for TCI Transcoil International, located at West 132 North 10611 Grant Drive, two-lot certified survey map and site plan review for a 33,000 square foot building expansion. Give us some more information and background on this new business item. We'll turn the meeting over to Associate Planner Emily Zant.
Thank you. Ergens Partners, agent for Transcoil International, is seeking approval of a two-lot certified survey map and site development and building plans for a 33,000 square foot addition to the existing building located on Grant Drive. The property is zoned M1 Limited Industrial and is completely surrounded again by M1 Limited Industrial zoning. The purpose of the certified survey map is to move the property line between the two existing lots 10 feet to the west. So the line there is highlighted between lots, proposed lots 1 and 2. This modification will allow for the proposed addition to meet the required setbacks as listed on CSM number 6520, which was recorded in 2013. MacArthur Partners does own both of the impacted lots. These are the existing elevation drawings of, or I'm sorry, images of the existing elevations of the buildings, the north elevation and the south elevation at the bottom of the screen, and then the west elevation and the east elevation. So the proposed 33,000 square foot addition to the existing industrial building will be primarily used for additional storage and shipping and receiving docks. The proposed addition will add 0.9 acres of impervious area to the site, which will result in 55.5% impervious coverage on this property. The property is served by an existing detention pond that can accommodate the increase in runoff from this project. So the proposed addition will continue the facade of the existing building. There will be an 8-foot wide extruded insulated precast concrete wall panels with accents to match the existing building, 4 overhead dock doors and dock equipment, 1 overhead drive indoor and 2 man doors on the south elevation of the building. There'll be 1 man door on the north elevation and 1 man door and 1 overhead drive-in door on the west elevation. The west elevation will include a knockout wall as the business does anticipate an additional addition in the future. So in terms of landscaping, a variety of evergreen and ornamental trees, as well as deciduous shrubs, will be installed on the north side of the property along the addition and in the southwest corner. 2 existing trees will be removed for construction and replanted in the same place following the completion of the project. Plantings on the west side of the addition are minimal as future addition expansion is anticipated. So just some comments. The building inspection services has indicated that the submission of state approved plans will require a $20,000 occupancy bond. The village forester did review the landscape plan and has requested that details on protective fencing for the trees and shrubs be preserved and added to the landscaping plan. And then the village engineer public works department did review the application, the site plan, and wrote a memo dated May 25th. These items will need to be incorporated into the site plan prior to the issuance of building permits. So staff does recommend the approval of the site and building plans for the 33,000 square foot addition to the existing industrial building located on Grant Drive, subject to 5 conditions, as well as approval of the proposed 2-lot certified survey map to modify the boundary between lots 2 and 3 of CSM 6520 on Grant Drive, subject to 1 condition. And the applicants are here, representatives of the business are here this evening if you have any questions for them.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2-lot certified survey map with the 5 conditions as presented.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Good question. Is there a road that goes around it for fire access? To that new part?
Not required by code because you have the road at the top and the parking lot at the bottom.
Okay.
So that
So they
meets.
should be able to reach it with a ladder. Okay, got it. Further discussion? I can remember when this building came in, I think back in like 2008 or 9, was it? When the park went through its conversion, they were one of the buildings right after Bradley that was built shortly thereafter. So
Right.
They helped us to turn our park over to a successful park when they brought their business in. So thank you for that, and congratulations on your growth. Mr. Nillis.
Can I get a clarification on the motion? There were five conditions for the site development and building plans and 1 condition for the CSM.
I see it as 2 motions, 1 to approve the certified survey, 1 to approve the site plan. So I'll make a second motion after this one goes to do the site plan with that single condition.
So right now it's on for this 2-lot certified survey map.
Correct.
There's only 1 condition with that one.
Which one's got the 1 condition? Which one got the 5 conditions?
The 2-lot certified survey map has 1 condition,
Okay,
and the
then
site plan has 5.
I'll correct my motion to say the 2-lot certified survey map as presented with the 1 condition.
Okay, and that's all right with the second?
Yep.
All right, any discussion on the motion to approve the 2-lot certified survey map? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Unopposed, motion carries. Next motion.
Make a motion to approve the site plan for the 33,000 square foot building addition as presented with the 5 conditions.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Any questions on the conditions? Okay. No discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Unopposed, motion carries. Thank you for coming. Next item under new business is new business item E, Nagel Architects and Engineers, agent for District 1 LLC, property owner located at West 140, North 10393, Fond du Lac Avenue, a site review application for the coffee house. More information on this new business item, we'll turn our meeting back over to Emily Zant.
Okay, thank you. Greg Nagel, agent for District 1 LLC, the property owner, is requesting approval for 1 ground sign for the coffee house located on Fond du Lac Avenue. The site is zoned the Kubrick PDD. It's surrounded by B3 to the north and to the south. To the east is M1 industrial, and the west is RS6 residential. The Kubrick Plan Development District was approved in 2018 for the purpose of redeveloping and renovating the two existing buildings, a single-story schoolhouse and a two-story tavern, into a coffee shop and restaurant. The proposal included the construction of a covered portico between and serving both buildings with seasonal seating, interior and exterior building renovations, and the reconstruction and expansion of the existing parking lot west of the buildings. Before you today is a proposed ground sign. It's a 24-inch by 108-inch or 18 square feet internally illuminated metal sign inset into a cast-in-place 12-foot by 40-inch concrete panel, which will be located in the southwest corner of the intersection of Donjas Bay and Fond du Lac Avenue. As a part of the resolution adopting conditions and restrictions for the PDD, the standard 5-foot setback from the property line for the ground sign was reduced to 0 feet. The proposed sign does meet this requirement. The proposed ground sign is intended to replace 2 of the 3 signs originally approved with the site development plan in 2018. This sign will replace the sign that was to be along Donjas Bay Road and the northern ground sign along Fond du Lac Avenue. As a result of this change in location of the sign, the landscaping has been revised. A portion of the proposed landscaping around the base of the sign is proposed to be located within the Fond du Lac Avenue Road right-of-way. The Wisconsin DOT does require a permit to install landscaping within their right-of-way. A permit approval for these plantings by the Wisconsin DOT has been included as a condition of approval for the sign. So it's staff's recommendation to approve the proposed ground sign for the coffee house located at W140 and 10393 Fond du Lac Avenue, subject to 3 conditions.
Commissioners?
Move approval of the proposed ground sign for coffee house. Conditions.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion on the motion to approve. So is this for both buildings or just the one building?
It's just for the building to the north.
And is the plans going to proceed for the building to the south
Yes,
eventually?
yes, eventually.
So this will be then opening soon? Been 3 years.
It has, yes.
I can speak to that if you'd like.
Sure. Is this Mr. Nagel?
This is he. Yeah. So
How
we
are you?
acquired the property in fall of 2019, and then promptly last year, COVID kind of blew apart the plans and the financing for the project. So we were able to resume bank financing by last fall after things kind of settled down with COVID. Forte Bank in Hartford is the bank we're working with right now, and they felt it more prudent to proceed as a 2-phase project and get the cafe up first, and then proceed with the renovations to the second building into the restaurant. And so that's the way we're proceeding with them. It's not our ideal situation, but given what happened with COVID and how it affected the hospitality industry, we're proceeding, as we can with that.
Okay. And so it will be coffee house then as
Yes,
the
that's the name of it. It's a cafe house, and it's obviously taking on the a little, in name, some of the Germanic, character of the area. And it is a Stone Creek Coffee Partnership Cafe, so we have permission to be able to use their logo as part of our sign as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank
Further
you.
discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Abstention.
One abstains. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Nagel, for joining us.
Thank you.
Next item under new business is new business item F, Sign Effects, Inc., agent for Germantown Properties, property owner located at North 112, West 15800, Mequon Road, sign review application for Pet Supplies Plus. Give us more information on this new business item. We'll turn the meeting back over to Director Retzlaff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At last month's meeting, the Plan Commission approved some exterior remodeling to the Sendex Village Center property. And large part of that was to pave the way for the Pet Supplies Plus tenant to be located on the west side of the building. The application you have before you this evening is for the a wall sign on the face of the south elevation for the Pet Supplies Plus, and also a monument sign panel insert to be located in the existing monument sign out along Mequon Road. Here's a graphic that shows the rendering of the panel insert and a rendering showing the front of the remodeled Pet Supplies Plus building area with the signage presented. The proposed signage complies with our sign regulations, and the Plan Commission, or the staff recommendation to the Plan Commission is to approve the proposed wall sign and sign insert for the Pet Supplies Plus located in Sendex Village Center, subject to one standard condition dealing with electrical permit requirement.
Make a motion to approve signage as presented with the one condition.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion on the motion to approve. No discussion. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None opposed? Motion carries. Next item under new business is item G, MSI General Corp., agent for DJN Family Limited Partnership, property owner of Enercon Industries, which is located at North 120 West 19349 Freistadt Road, a two-lot certified survey map. More information on this, we'll turn the meeting back over to Director Retzlaff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The purpose for the certified survey map is to slide the common property line between the two properties, the north property owned by DJN Family Partnership or the Enercon Industries Corporation building, and the Bunsen Realty LLC property to the south that is occupied by MGS Automation. The purpose for shifting the property line 150 feet approximately to the south is to essentially swap about 1.8 acres of land between the two parcels to accommodate a future building addition and parking lot expansion for the Enercon Industries facility located on the north or lot 1 as shown on the CSM. The Plan Commission, the staff recommendation is to approve the proposed two-lot CSM subject to one condition requiring that issues and plan corrections identified by the Village Engineering Department be reflected in a revised CSM prior to recording the CSM.
What are those, what is that condition? Just, that's all it is?
Yes. Like the previous CSM, these two CSMs that we have before you this evening, the review by our new engineering consultant for plats and CSM is pending. We don't have the final comments yet, but we expect them in the next couple of days prior to this going before the village board.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented with the one condition for discussion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
The building on lot 2 and the setbacks related to that, has anybody reviewed the setback requirements by our ordinance?
Yes.
So we are, a 10-foot setback is acceptable?
Yes, in fact, we worked with the fire department, the fire chief. His preference is for the building to be as close as the code would allow, given the topography, and given the, let me see if I can skip ahead to the concept plan. On the concept plan, you'll see on the south side of the proposed 55,000 square foot building addition, there is a parking area and driveway that's to McCormick That's immediately north of the existing MGS automation building. And that will provide better accessibility for emergency vehicles than what currently exists. There is no road or drive around the north side of the building for MGS automation. So the fire department is supportive of this proposal and prefers the minimum setback.
Does that building then comply with a 10-foot setback?
Yes.
Does, okay.
Okay. Further discussion? No further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? None opposed? Motion carries. Next item under new business is item H. Chaz Hastings, agent for WI Piggy LLC, property owner of Von Rothenberg Beer Stube, located at North 116, West 15841, Main Street, site plan review for building renovations for a bathroom addition. More information and discussion on this. We'll turn the meeting over to, again, Director Retzlaff.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you indicated, Chaz Hastings, agent for the Beer Stuba, is seeking approval of site development and building plans to add 2 bathrooms. Those bathrooms would be added to the south side of the existing building, accessible from the beer garden on the south side of the building in the backyard, if you will. The graphics show a couple of elevations on the left side, the west elevation, and on the right side of the screen is the south elevation, and in the red dotted box is the location of the bathroom addition. Here's a site view of the property north to the top. Again, the red dotted box, the proposed location of the bathroom addition off the south side of the building. The bathrooms themselves will be ADA compliant. However, accessibility to the bathrooms is not ADA accessible. There's a landing with a couple of steps on either side of the bathrooms. And there also is a sort of a pergola-ish railing and screen wall located in front of the bathrooms, basically between the bathroom entryway and the beer garden. As I indicated, the bathrooms themselves are to be designed and constructed as ADA compliant, but the issue that the staff has at this point is the accessibility as far as getting to those ADA compliant bathrooms. The building inspector indicated that Safe Built will be reviewing this plan for commercial plan review and compliance with the commercial building code, and is of the opinion at this point that those the access to the bathrooms would need to be ADA accessible as well as ADA compliant. The architect for Mr. Hastings has indicated that the bathrooms, the next door, the Old Town or the Big Boy, are ADA compliant and ADA accessible. And I guess the issue is that sufficient to satisfy the ADA code with regard to bathroom accessibility? At this point, I'm going to be relying on the building inspector and Safe Built to provide that information for us. Chaz, do you want to say something?
Chaz Hastings, Von Rothenberg Beer Stube. It was, Jeff, I thought with the traffic bond coming in from the garden, from the south entrance, the traffic bond we put that down. Did Dan talk to you about that?
No.
Because he had mentioned to me that if it wasn't ADA compliant, that the traffic bond would be something that somebody could, if they were in a wheelchair, roll up to that entrance. And he had said that was he thought sufficient.
So creating a ramp of sorts?
It wouldn't be well, it's an incline that would come up, a slight incline, less than the driveway, but it's with the traffic bond with the hard mulch over top. He thought it was a good enough material to count to get up to that. And the thing I'd also like everybody to consider is that currently right now, the beer stube is very busy, and to go to the restroom for men, they actually have to go up the stairs right now.
Right.
And for some of our guys, that's quite a feat. especially if they have to go more than once or twice in an evening.
Understood. The issue is frankly that when you make any improvements to a non-ADA compliant facility, you have to make some, trying to attempt to make some accommodation. And if the incline that you're suggesting satisfies safe build in their commercial plan review, then I guess we would satisfy that requirement.
Where would that incline be?
It would be coming,
I don't have a good
so
photograph.
if you come in from the parking lot into the garden,
You got the aerial? Go back to the aerial. There.
Not good.
That it's,
Oh, along the fence line then, kind of. Mhm.
so my understanding of the code is that when you do an addition to a building, your addition has to be an accessible alteration on an accessible route. Simply by the fact that you have two steps going up to the toilet room, that makes it an inaccessible route. So I would defer until we can have safe build confirm that this is code compliant.
what I'll find out though is if there'd be no steps at all if it came off the path.
If you can get handicap accessibility up to and into the toilet rooms, then it's code compliant. If you can't do that, then it's not code
But he's
compliant.
saying the ramp is allowing that, traffic bond.
Until you, yeah, traffic bond is stiff enough to get a wheelchair on, but do all your slopes work out? I don't know. I can't see it. We don't have anything that illustrates that. Do we approve it conceptually and wait for safe build to reject it? And we're rejecting it? How do we?
Well, ordinarily, this is a level of detail that the Plan Commission doesn't typically get involved in, but you could conditionally approve it, subject to safe built approving an ADA compliant.
We'll make that incline whatever it needs to be able to do this. So,
No, the
and-
only
and you'll see it.
caveat is that if in so doing, you need to modify the rest of the site and add ramps or raise the elevation where the fence line is next to the Schuster property, we may have to bring that back.
Yeah, because you're talking about a ramping system and help me remember this. I haven't been there since last summer. From where the toilet rooms are going to be, you've got two steps down to the walkway that comes in on the east side of the building.
Correct,
And
but
then
if you
you
go
have
towards the
several-
Schuster's fence, it's less of a incline or decline down there.
But I have multiple steps down and I'm getting to a grade that is several feet below where the toilet rooms are going to be, is my recollection. And for every foot of vertical, you need 12 foot of horizontal. Seeing, if you got 4 feet in there, 5 feet in there, look at that, the elevation there, which is called the west elevation, which is actually the east elevation.
No, it's the west.
No, that's the,
No.
that right there is the side of the building, so the bathrooms are back.
Correct.
Right.
So that door is your general entry door. Those stairs are on the east side of your building between.
Well, I think
But people would be
Part of the
standing
issue-
down at the other end.
part of the
There's no way
issue
I can
though
get them in through there.
is you have a stairway and that's shown on the right side of that drawing. There's a stairway that goes into the basement.
On the left side of that drawing.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, and it's that path that you just swoop down below the label of that drawing, that is my concern.
I don't think it's that far, but I mean, it's, my guess is worth nothing at this point, so.
I would like to see a site plan that reflects all this ramping that I believe is going to have to be done.
If it would help us from timing, if, like Mr. Retzloff said, if we could get a conceptual improvement with that other company saying yes, and I'll get that to you guys, it'd still give me a chance to get this done this calendar year.
Okay,
It's up to the inspector, really.
but it becomes a site plan issue to get all those ramps in to de-ramp that whole back issue, that area is what I'm getting at. So what I'll do is I'll make a motion to approve the toilet room addition with, how many conditions do you have on it? One? None. No
Just-
conditions.
Just one. That-
One condition with the one condition currently stated and I would like to add a second condition that if additional grading and ramping is necessary in the, what's the outdoor area called? The patio area is required, a site plan has to be brought back for plan commission approval.
But we were already talking about a single ramp. Are you talking about multiple ramps?
I,
So if
I-
it's more than what
I
he's
don't think we need
described,
multiple
if
ramps.
if it's more than what he's describing, a simple little ramp,
yes,
then if it has to be switched back through the patio area, I
Then you
think
wanna
that
see a
site
site
plan
plan.
has to come back.
but if it
It's not
works
the
out to,
Patio area, it's on the outer edge, and Dan, the architect, thought that, he said if this came up, I thought he had discussed it with you, but there's traffic bond could go there, and he thought that would cover it.
Traffic bond is a material. I'm concerned about the slopes and how much ramping you're
Right,
gonna.
and you said that with the caveat that, of course, I wouldn't do the traffic bond if it wasn't gonna meet the incline.
So, but if it's not just a simple ramp to get up those last two steps in front of the toilet rooms, and it's a ramp that wraps through the patio area, I'd like to see that site plan brought back, if it's an extensive ramping system.
beyond as he describes.
Yes.
Okay.
So is the gist of your conditions that they can go ahead, start construction on the bathrooms, provided that they are eventually ADA accessible by way of whatever ramp system is required?
Unless the other inspector says that the accessibility to the restaurant bathrooms fits,
I guess there's
It's
still
a
that open
requirement.
question.
If that meets the requirement, because the hours are gonna be the same.
Is there's no property line between these two?
No.
So you can never separate the buildings. If you're using toilet rooms in an adjacent building, I'm not up to speed on what that code requirement is. I haven't had to do that.
so if that fits the bill, that means that the ramp wouldn't be necessary.
No,
I-
because
I'm just thinking that if they get started on the bathrooms next month, if there's a ramp that's required, they can bring that site plan back and we can review and approve that.
and I'm fine with that, but like, I just want, if it becomes an extensive ramping system, which I think it will be, I don't think it's as simple as you think. I'd like to see it
Yeah.
before we approve it.
I agree. I've seen just basic ramping systems for residential, that switch back and do all sorts of things. And there's like 4 times as much wood as you would expect just to make a 3-foot high elevation change.
Well,
So,
that's 3 foot high is 36 inches vertical. That's 36 feet of ramping. And depending on where you bring this ramp in, swoop it around, swoop it down between, every time I go down, make a turn, I need a landing, then I need another turn, I need another landing. All the landings and all the ramping can get cumbersome and it can take up a lot of space.
right.
So with your motion, then, the construction of the bathrooms can start, but if there's an extensive ramping requirement, then it needs a site plan approval. But he could still start the construction of.
If it's approved by Safe Build.
Okay.
Safe Build is gonna be the one to really say whether the ramps are required or not.
Right.
Because you make them handicap accessible, but you put no access to them, what's the point? I believe an accessible space has to be on an accessible route, which is where that safe build.
Right. And we'll also have them look into the other question about using the bathrooms next door.
Okay. Did we have a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion made and seconded, discussion. We kind of had it in the creation of the motion.
Sorry.
No discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? None opposed? Motion carries. Last item on tonight's agenda under new business is item I, Lemberg Electric, agent for Chaz Hastings and Wisconsin Piggy LLC, property owner located at North 116, West 15841, Main Street, site review application for Big Boy Restaurant and zoning permit application for the Big Boy statue. Give us some more information, background on this new business item. We'll turn the meeting back over to our associate planner, Emily Zant.
Thank you. Moving just to the east here, the applicant is proposing signage for the incoming Big Boy Restaurant to be located on the east elevation of the property. The sign is about 23 square feet total. It's an aluminum wall sign with aluminum cabinet and vinyl graphics. The sign will be illuminated with a glass neon tube outlining the shape during the night. Additional approval is requested for a Big Boy statue to be placed in the northeast corner of the property near the entrance to the parking lot. The proposed statue is 12 feet tall and approximately 3 feet wide. Given the unique nature of the proposed statue and with the goal of public safety in mind, staff does support the setback requirement consistent with that of ground signs, which is 5 feet from all lot lines. Beyond the location, the statue needs to be sufficiently anchored and secured to prevent damage or injury. A report on how the statue will be securely anchored to the ground and meet or exceed with pressure loads of not less than 40 pounds per square foot or other applicable building code requirements has been added as a condition of approval. Staff recommends approval of the proposed wall sign and the statue zoning permit for Big Boy to be located at N116 W15841 Main Street, subject to 3 conditions.
Commissioners?
I make a motion to approve the sign review application and zoning permit application as presented with 3 conditions.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Mr. Williams?
Question on the statue. So what code is governing the statue? Because ground sign, the maximum height is 10 feet, 12 feet. And my second question is that to the, like, is that the scale that's actually too small? Yeah.
Can you go back?
Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay.
If we could get the presentation back up on the, that's okay.
Yeah, I think the scale is a little off on that. I mean, it looks more like that is 6 feet tall and not 12 feet. With respect to your first question, we sort of a hybrid, if you will. I don't really consider it to be a sign per se, but for setback purposes, given its height, and the potential for possibly, I assume it's fiberglass or some composite. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and that will cover, I'm sure, any concerns we have about it blowing over or falling over in a storm or something to that effect. So we've required a zoning permit to get the details on it and are just treating it as an accessory structure, but not a sign.
No particular, I couldn't find anything in the code, but nothing particular to a statue is.
Yeah, they're really,
We've had them approved in other areas as artwork, sculptures. It's no different than the pig. If the pig is there, is that a sign or that's just sculpture? So that's the way we've had it. If there's any rules that we have for sculptures?
Not really.
I'm sure it'll be used for photo ops.
Yeah, like the bronze fawns.
Yeah, is your concrete base going to have a little bit of a sidewalk or step area so people aren't climbing all over it? Okay.
Further discussion?
Just one question out of curiosity, when will it open?
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Unopposed? Motion carries. Do we have any announcements you'd like to make? Chaz, before you go, would you like to make an announcement of your event coming up on Thursday? You have to do it at the microphone, please.
So this Thursday, June 17th at 3 p.m., we're going to be celebrating Big Boy's 85th anniversary. It's going to be a party out in the parking lot. We're going to have 85-cent hamburgers with a beverage purchase. We have 2 bands that day, a muscle car show, which we hope turns into an every Wednesday muscle car show. I've already discussed this with my neighbors. We have a nice relationship right now. It's going to be a great party. There will be a press conference at 5:30 with executives from Big Boy, some local officials, the fire department, the police department are going to be present to show off some of their vehicles. We think it's going to be a real nice day.
So does it start at 5:30 or does it start earlier?
The press conference is at 5:30. The event itself starts at 3, but I'm fully prepared for people to be camping out at 9 a.m.
All right.
17th?
Yes, this Thursday.
This Thursday.
Question for, is this the first big boy in Wisconsin in present time, or are there?
It's the first Big Boy since 1995.
Every place we've lived, there's always been a big boy, so.
Oh, well, thanks.
Well, it used to be around here, it used to be Mark's Big Boy.
I think that was before I lived.
There used to be one in West Dallas on Highway 100 between National and Oklahoma.
We had 60 of them in Wisconsin at one time.
Really?
Mhm.
It was first of 60, right?
We did most of them.
It's kind of the return.
Yeah.
The return is 60, yeah. All right, thank you for that.
Thank
All right, if there's no other
I have one
announcements, all
announcement.
right,
Just that we're having a special plan commission on June 28th for 2050 plan discussion and possibly review of a draft document.
that'll be open to the public.
Yes.
All right, very good. Any other announcements? Not? We're adjourned. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for coming. Have a good night. Letters? Sure you do.